You know, that first reading from 2 Kings, which concludes with people who are not listening to God's prophets, and instead of listening and turning to God, they worshiped worthless idols. And then Scripture tells us, by worshiping these worthless things, they themselves became worthless. What we adore, what we turn to, who we worship makes a difference in who we are. And so, and those both readings from 2 Kings, you know, I read the one-year Bible, and they came from last week's readings. And then getting to this part where Hezekiah, the second reading, Hezekiah is listening to the prophet Isaiah. And Hezekiah was called good king, Hezekiah, because compared to some of the other kings, he was pretty good. But pretty good was not so great. And we find out in this reading really how ungreat he was, because Isaiah says something that should just break any parent's heart. Isaiah talks about the kingdom being basically destroyed, everything of worth being carried off, and says to Hezekiah, and some of your own sons will be made eunuchs and served in the king's court in Babylon. And Hezekiah says, and if we're not shocked, we're not paying attention, Hezekiah says, well, good enough, because in his time there was going to be peace. So the heck with what happened after he was dead and gone. And I look at that picture of the polar bear perched on a dwindling iceberg, and I think to myself, as horrifying as Hezekiah's attitude is, how different is it? And I can say for those people who are not concerned about the environment, but then I have to say to myself, how much am I changing my life on a day-to-day basis to make a difference? Am I kind of coasting along because I've got air conditioning, while global warming continues to take off? And when so-called skeptics about global warming, the real word is not skeptics. The real word is liars about global warming. When liars about global warming have suggested that, well, the science isn't completely clear because we're looking at readings of the temperature right on Earth. Only we paid more attention to satellite readings, and from space we would get more accurate readings. So they've done that and had to adjust up global warming to find out it's really 140% worse than we thought it was. So for those of us who think, well, in our day, Ron and I sometimes have a bad joke about how, well, we don't need to live beachside. Pretty soon we'll have oceanfront properties.
Really?
You know, and we can laugh, but we also need to cry. And the other pictures of people just taking and taking in the presence of other people having nowhere near enough. The willingness to do damage, to consume more than we need. God is still speaking, and God is crying out for us to care about how we use resources. Not just other out there people, but each and every one of us, each and every day. Ron is kind of a hero of composting. We have more books on composting than probably anybody else on the planet. So if you want to know about composting, borrow a book or two or three or four or 10. But he makes that a part of what he does. And when I throw out a tin can, heaven forbid, Ron fishes through the trash and gets it out so we can recycle it. It is possible to have a heart that turns and returns to what is honorable, true, and good. And it is possible to leverage one another, Ron often uses guilt quite effectively, to change our behavior. And our behavior can change. And we can work together. Those little Girl Scouts, they're not meeting in Community Hall over the summer, but they have recycling bins and they care about helping us get better about recycling. They're little ones growing up, learning that taking care of the planet matters. We live in a culture that may not build marble statues or great wooden statues and worship those, but we are still worshiping idols in ways that we don't really pay enough attention to. There is so much emphasis put on stuff, on money, on fame. To my credit, I have never watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but I know that it's a thing these days. All these shows that say, look at what I have, look at what I can do. And is that God's word to us? What is God's word about what is important? And we may not have as much money as any number of other people we can name, but we all have some money. And are we using part of our money to help other people, to make a real difference in someone else's life? Or are we valuing something that's going to make us worthless? And it's not just our money. It's our time, too. In Psalm, I think it's 96, 69. It's one of those. Anyhow, where it says, God sets the lonely in families. God means for us to be connected to one another. And friendship and kindness are also extremely valuable. And do we use that to notice someone who might be new, who might not have so many friends? For some of us, it's easy to chat it up with just about anybody on the planet. For others of us, we're a little more shy, a little more reserved. And so, do we make quiet ways, gentle ways for people to feel connected, to have a place at the table? Surely, that is the call to us. If we want to be like the God we worship, the God who reaches out, who makes sure everyone is fed, who says it matters not what you do tomorrow, because we don't know if we even have tomorrow, but we do have right now. Although I'm hoping we have next week, because that being on the table through this world is going to be wicked fun. We are called to include one another, to care about future possibilities that are going to harm other living creatures, other people, and if we have to change what we're doing, then that's the call. And bit by bit, we have to figure it out. And if you need help, Ron is always prepared to tell you what you should be doing. We invite us to turn and return to the God who loves us with power and mercy and inclusion for each precious one. In Jesus' name, amen.